I got a phone call from my son that he had been arrested by federal agents. They sentenced him to 10 years. That was the most painful thing I had ever faced.
Unfortunately, my wife passed away very suddenly. She was just a tremendous and wonderful woman of God, but she passed away suddenly from a cerebral hemorrhage in December.
You know, we think of difficult things in our lives that we have to do. Probably telling my children that their father had died is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do.
As a hospital and hospice chaplain, I would hear the stories of those that were suffering because of chronic illness, because of the losses that they experienced, loss of children, loss of husbands and wives, loss of friends, divorce, those who had financial ruin. And I would ask them, where would they get this support? And they would easily tell me that they weren't getting any support. People would not understand that what they were going through was a process. And one day, we had quite a few losses between hospice and the hospital. And so that night I went on my knees, and that night, God gave me a dream. Really, I felt like it was an assignment from God that I needed to be able to bring people to a place where they could find wholeness again, that they didn't have to see that their loss would cripple them for life, but that they could have purpose.
All of the things they provide are free. They, do outreach. I know she Skypes with folks.
We need you to pray for us. Of course, your financial support, volunteering for us.
We do lots of training here, counselor training, we do facilitator training. There are all kinds of different ways you can volunteer.
I get a lot out of that, being able to come in here and be here for people.
I have 113 volunteers. We have pastoral counselors and lay counselors.
I work mostly with the teens and the children at the center.
My son, they really stayed engaged with the ministry. Grieving is not easy. Certainly if you have spiritual support, guidance, and is very helpful. I couldn't imagine it without that.
SCSM is very important in this community, and this community has shown that they are very important.
I learned so much from spiritual care about how to cope. You can be strong.
So at Spiritual Care Support Ministries, we know that God has a future for you. God can transform you. It's you that has to take that step.